Today I wanted to speak about the expectations placed on us as mums. I can only speak from my point of view, and obviously as a female, I can only speak from the point of view of being a mum. I totally believe and understand that there's also expectations put on dads and put on males, from the point of view of being the protector, being the strong one, providing for your family. Absolutely, there's so many expectations put on dads as well. However, today, I'm going to be speaking about the expectations that are placed on mums. So I'm quite passionate about this particular topic. So do you ever feel like there are all these expectations placed on us as mums, to do certain things, to be a certain way, to have certain things? I know I certainly feel that expectation. And sometimes it's an actual unspoken expectation as well. And I believe the unrealistic and the idealistic expectations that are placed on mums can be quite draining and can cause us to feel quite exhausted just from those expectations of having to be a certain way. And I truly believe we can do absolutely anything that we want to do. And I believe that we can be all that we want to be and anything that we want to be. And I'm all for promoting mums that can actually have it all. That perfect career that makes you a nice income, enough that you can actually, sustain your living on. The well-behaved kids, the most loving, caring partner or husband, the perfect family life where you take your perfect little family and you go on your perfect little holiday where there's no fighting, there's no arguments, and all is within harmony. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me. I am Kareen. I'm head owner here and coach at CRG Energy Fitness, and it is my passion, my purpose to help parents be the best version that they can be. I help you to build a strong and confident mind and body so that you can be confident within yourself and you can do all the things that you ever dream of doing. So that could include things like wearing a bikini to the beach, having the energy to actually play with and keep up with your kids. Because if your child is anything like my child, she is full of energy and it can become quite exhausting. Alrighty, I want you to be able to bend over and be able to tie your shoelaces without feeling the aches and pains and actually be able to get down there. Alrighty, they are the things that myself and my team help you to achieve, and we are passionate about that. Now, back to my topic at hand, the expectations placed on us as mums. So I say blah, 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 because to me, perfect doesn't exist. Alrighty, now, I certainly came from a place, when I was a little bit younger, makes me sound so old, a little bit younger, where I believed I had to be a perfectionist. Like I had this perfectionist mentality that everything had to be perfect. However, as I've gotten that little bit older, I've been able, it's still a work in progress, absolutely. However, I've been able to drop away a lot of those expectations on myself to be perfect. However, there's plenty of times when those expectations that I place on myself rear their ugly head. And, it's not always the nicest feeling, alrighty? So I think about then being able to recognize that. I think we can all fall victim, to those thoughts of everything needs to be perfect so that I can feel some sort of worth. So whether that be worth within myself or worth coming from other people, so that external validation. So I believe absolutely that yes, we can have it all. However, I believe also that in today's society, having it all can also come at a cost. Alrighty, and a cost that I have been experiencing of late myself. I believe motherhood is often represented in unrealistic and idolized ways. It's the unspoken expectations that can really hurt us the most. So I wanted to share my story with you today. Hopefully it resonates with you, or parts of it resonate with you, and I'm able to, or allow you to learn from me and from my mistakes, and show you some of the things that I'm now implementing into my life to be able to live my best life and live, to me, the perfect life. So my perfect life. Because remember, the perfect life is going to look different to everybody. So first up, those thoughts of being a super mum. Like, I believe society sets us up to believe we can be a super mum, do all of these things and achieve all of these things, yet we have to achieve it all by ourselves, and that's something that right at this moment I'm, working through. I am a single parent. I live here by myself with my daughter, alrighty, and albeit my daughter's father, he is amazing and he is a positive influence on my daughter's life. However, there was a time when he wasn't, and he wasn't present whatsoever. So I was actually looking after my daughter all by myself for a good couple of years. So although he was present in body, I will say, he was certainly not present in mind. And he wasn't present for us or with us. Alrighty, so that led me to take on the expectation of having to be both parents to my daughter, as well as then trying to deal with, my own limiting beliefs from my childhood and my unhealed traumas from my family life, as well as then just those expectations of, as a new mum, we're supposed to know exactly what we're doing and just come naturally. I think sometimes, absolutely. And sometimes you just kick in and you know exactly what to do. And then there's other times that you have no fucking clue what you're doing and you are just winging it. So for me right now, it's not easy to juggle. I own and run my own business where I support and I help other people to become their best version. Alrighty. As well as then being a mum, as well as then house chores, as well as then, making sure I'm looking after me, doing the training that I would like to do that then helps my physical and mental health. Making sure that I'm eating the foods that I believe are going to allow me to live my best life and give me the energy that I need to keep up with my daughter, to, do the things that I want to do, as well as service and be the best that I can be for my clients. Because, if I'm not looking after me, how can I then give my best to the people that I'm servicing? And that includes, family. That's every single relationship that we have in life. We own part, within a relationship, there's two people. So I and each and every one of us own 50% of that interaction and 50% of that relationship. So if I can't look after myself and be the best person that I can be for me, how am I ever going to give the best of me to someone else? Instead, what I'm doing is I'm just giving the rest of me, whatever's left from me, to those other people. And is that actually fair on that other person? Shit, no. They're getting what's left of me. Like, they're getting the shitty parts of me. And it's most certainly not fair on me either. Like, I want to be able to give my best to someone, my daughter, my mum, my partner, everyone around me. I want to be able to give the best of me to them. Not just what's left of me, that tired, exhausted, run-down, stressed person. Fuck no. Who wants to give that away? So there are sacrifices that I need to make every day, to then put into place the things that I want to do and, to become the person that I want to be. I start my day at 5:30 in the morning, and sometimes I'm not getting into bed till, 10:30 at night. And if that continues, that's a surefire way to burnout. Alrighty, so for me, it's really important that I focus on simply looking after my own mental health and making sure that I'm looking after myself and treating myself with as much love and as much care that I give out every day to the people around me. So it's important to me then. So those times during the day, like what I've now implemented is actually time blocking. Alrighty, so I'll look at my calendar and actually put time aside for when I can spend, or I wouldn't even call it spend, that's the wrong terminology, where I can invest that time into me, whether it be logging on to a meditation, a guided meditation in the mornings, whether it's allocating that time that I can do my training, because that's super important to me. So actually looking at the things that you value, and making sure that your values align with your goals and align with your dreams, like where you want to be and where you want to go. Like that's super important to have that alignment, so you can have then a clear path of where you're going. And that way those expectations, like you can keep then those expectations in check, or I believe you can keep them in check easier because you have a path of where you're going. Alrighty, and you know exactly what's going on. Alrighty, so yeah, as I said, I've started time blocking so I can be as effective as possible within the hours that I then give to my business. Because owning your own business and then running it from home, it's very easy to fall into just keep working mentality. Like I've fallen victim to that, where I just keep going. I keep going, from the moment I wake up to, I might be sitting down having my dinner with my daughter, yet checking my phone to be able to answer messages from members, or, maybe an inquiries come into my business that I want to get onto as soon as possible. However, is that actually then giving me time to replenish myself? No, it's not. So I've got to be really mindful and really conscious of my time, because I believe that time is your most important asset and your most valuable asset, because you'll never get time back. So it's really important to me then to allocate and actually block out the time for me. So I'm investing that time to make me better and to grow within me. Alrighty. And you know what? I'll tell you a story. I was so proud of myself yesterday, right? I absolutely nailed mum life. So I'd finished my work around 2:00, right? And I needed to go pick my daughter up from school at 2:45. So I was like, oh, what can I do? I don't want to just, scroll social media and, waste my time as such. And I went, well, hang on, I've got to get stuff ready for my daughter. Like, my afternoons on a Wednesday, I have 3 member sessions in a row, starting at 3:45 all the way through to 7:15. So I need to then, and like with only 15-minute breaks in between. So I need to be organized that, for a Wednesday night to have, dinner ready for my daughter so that she can be eating dinner. So, because I don't have time to cook it at that time. So 2:00 rolls around, I'd finished my work. I went, right, I'm going to pop on. Like I'd already had some leftover meat, some chicken from the night before. So I had that part ready. I was going to put on some vegetables, put on some rice, cooked that up, and it was all done. I'd tallied it out. I'd divvied it out for 3 plates. I've now got 3 meals available for her for the next 3 nights. And I was nailing mum life. I was so proud of myself that I was able to actually achieve that and get that done. Because I'll tell you, there's been times that I'm running around like a headless chook, and that I'm not that organized because I haven't allowed myself the time, because I haven't blocked the time out. So I was nailing mum life yesterday, and I was so proud of myself. And I think it's really important then to take those moments when you're doing something really well and you have achieved something, to actually pat yourself on the back. Because as I said, there's plenty of times that I'm running around like a headless chook, feeling overwhelmed and feeling stressed. So it was just amazing for me to go, you know what? I achieved that today, and I was really, really happy. So I want to then move on to, I guess, part number 2. Now, when it comes to then expectations on us as mums. So maybe you in particular don't actually own your own business, yet you are working and you are a working mum. So trying to find that balance between work life, family life, and then actually being able to give time to yourself is tough. Alrighty, it really is, because it's a juggling act and it's a balancing act. Alrighty, and so for me, being productive with my time is important to me so that I can get all the things done that I'd like to get done. Alrighty, so I think it's important there as well, not to be too tough on yourself whatsoever within that process as well. Like, you are amazing. If you, as a mum, are juggling mum life, you're juggling work, whether it be full-time, whether it be part-time, plus you're then trying to, do the chores around the house, because the expectation on us as females or as women, as mums, is to keep the house, looking tidy, looking, spick and span for our family. Alrighty, so if you're juggling all those 3 things, or 4 or 5 things, if you're adding in social life and other things into the mix as well, then let me tell you right now, you are amazing and well done. Congratulations. You are, yes, kudos to you. I take my hat off to you, because as a mum myself, it is hard to juggle all of those things. So as I say, for me, being as productive as possible with my time and allocating my time out to the things that are important to me is what makes it work for me. Alrighty. Now, another thing I've come across that I have found myself doing is actually comparing myself then to other businesses within, or business owners within, my business mentorship coaching program. So I'm a big believer that we also need some sort of mentor or some sort of coach within our life. Now, this can be from any aspect, whether that be, health, whether that be wealth, whether it be mindset, business, whatever that element is. Having someone to help keep you accountable is a game changer, alrighty? And it's most definitely worth the investment of your time and of any money that you do, spend on that as well. Because then with that comparison, I was seeing other business owners achieve certain things and thinking, well, why is that not happening for me? And then I had a talk to my mentor, my business coach, about it. And she said, well, Corrine, are they walking in your shoes? Do they have the exact same business model or business type? And do they have the exact same outside environmental factors? Alrighty, so I believe these questions can come up and can be asked about anything that you're comparing yourself to in life. And for me, the answer was no to each and every one of those. So she said, well, how can you then compare? She said, you're then comparing apples to oranges. They're 2 completely different fruits. So what I'm saying here then is comparison is the thief of all joy. So try not to fall into the trap of comparing your, your first step with someone else's 20th step, because they may just be further along on the journey than you are. And that's completely okay, because I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason, and everything happens when you are actually ready for that thing to happen. Alrighty, so it will happen in a course in your life or at a certain time in your life when you are actually at that stage to embrace it and take it on and actually allow it to come in. Alrighty, so comparison is the thief of all joy. Alrighty, now what about the classic expectation of being the perfect mum, like never losing your shit at your kids? Like, I don't know any mum that has never yelled, growled, got an at their children before. And I'll put my hand up straight away. I've yelled at my daughter. I've growled at her in the past. that there's going to be times where our children trigger us, alrighty? And that's okay. Try not to be too hard on yourself in that situation. I do believe that we as parents need to do the work on ourselves and heal those unhealed traumas that we may have had from our childhood, from our own, past that we're holding on to, so that our children then don't have to deal with them. Alrighty. And I think the most important thing first is to actually recognize when there is a trigger and what that trigger actually is. Because I know for sure that if I'm in a good place and if I'm feeling good within me, then anything that my daughter does, doesn't affect me whatsoever, and she's doing all the right things, so to speak. But the minute then that I don't feel good within me, or, something's bothering me, or I'm upset about something in particular, she just has to say a word, or raise her voice just slightly, and it triggers me off, and it gets me, ties me up in knots. Alrighty, so I think then being able to recognize our triggers and then learning to actually respond as opposed to react first is such a crucial teaching that we can actually learn. And it's so beneficial then, and I struggle with this still to this day. That's something that I work on. And still from time to time, I do lose my shit at her. However, I like to think of it as a game as such. And this is something that's then helped me to not, react as quickly if something has happened that, she has triggered something within me. I actually say, I try to say to myself first, how fast can I actually take that steadying breath? So actually take a breath in, which is just then going to allow me and give me that 5-10 seconds where I'm actually then able to hopefully calm down and actually respond from a place of kindness and a place of compassion rather than react and yell. Because reacting and reactions come from a place of fear. So the minute that we're yelling and we're getting angry, that is us reacting, alrighty? And that's, all reactions come from a place of fear. What about the kids shouldn't have long periods of time on devices? They're actually quite torn on, because I'm actually in agreement with both the pros and cons to both sides of this one, because I don't believe just giving your child a device, when something's going on, or, is the be all and end all of it, just to keep them happy as such. I still believe they need other stimulation. They need to go outside and play. They still need movement. They still need interaction with other children. They still need other avenues of learning. Because I used to be totally against giving my daughter a device, or, allowing her to watch long periods of TV at one time, just to get her to settle down or to get her to be quiet as such. But now, and where I am in my life, I guess now, with the area I'm in right now, or where I feel that I'm at, I actually welcome it, because she actually uses a device at school and she learns so much from it. And for me, I think there's a difference between giving a child a device or a phone or whatever to, shut them up, so to speak, as opposed to then, giving them a device for other reasons. And, each and every one of us is going to have a different view on this, and that's completely okay. I'm not here to judge any parent whatsoever, because I believe parenting is hard. On the other side, for me, there's some times that, as I said, I actually welcome giving her a device or, letting her watch TV. Because if I'm in a place where I'm not feeling good and I just need a little bit of time for me, sometimes that is what's needed so that she can stay stimulated and can stay occupied while I actually take a time out. I actually go away, give myself 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever, however long I need to actually recoup, rejuvenate and reinvigorate myself so that I can then come out and be then the best parent that I can be to her, rather than just coming from a place of reaction and a place of fear all the time, which we're just going to butt heads. And it's not, I guess, a recipe for the best environment to be in or the best relationship to have as such. So I'm all for giving a child a device if you feel that you need a timeout. Absolutely. And as I said, we're all going to come from different viewpoints on this and even on all of my points today, and that's completely okay. This is me talking my story about, what then helps me to get through with where I'm at right now within my life and what's happening within my life. Alrighty, so something I wanted to talk about that I am actually, I've always been a big fan of journal writing. However, I had actually stopped doing that. And isn't it funny in the sense, and I talk with my members about this all the time, the minute we start to then allow things to affect us and we're getting down about things and we're feeling certain emotions about things, I will talk to them then about self-care. And the first thing that they admit, and I admit, is I've stopped doing the things that are important to me to refill my cup. So that self-care has gone out the window. And that's the reason that we're not actually feeling good within ourselves, because we're not giving ourselves that time that we need to actually, do the things that set our soul on fire, to make us, feel good. Alrighty. So these self-care rituals are so important to our own well-being. Alrighty, and what I actually got this, it's called the 5-minute journal from my business mentor, actually. And the reason I love this one is it literally takes me 5 minutes every morning. And what it's asking for, I'm able to write down, the questions are, I am grateful for. So I'm actually able to write 2 to 3 points there. The next question is, what would make today great? Alrighty, and for example, something that I put today or this morning was using my time effectively today. And another thing that would make today great for me was catching any negative thoughts and then reframing them, to then be able to witness my actions. So that's another thing that would make today great for me. And then there's a spot for a daily affirmation. So for me, for my daily affirmation, I wrote, I am capable of doing hard things. Alrighty. Yesterday I wrote, I am worthy of love, care, and success. And I have the power to choose my thoughts. So you can create your own little daily mantras or your own daily words of inspiration that are going to then help you for that day. And then there's a spot at the bottom that you can actually write, for the end of the day, highlights of the day, and then what did I learn today? So it's actually allowing you to really grow, and it only takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. If you'd like to spend more time on that, absolutely you can do, but the bare minimum is 5 minutes, and that's all we need. And that's enough to really set myself up for the day. Because I want to reiterate how important self-care is for a mum. I mean, it's important for every single human being on this planet. However, for myself as a mum, looking after ourselves, our mental health, our physical health, our emotional and our spiritual health is so important as a mum, alrighty? And it should be our top priority, because self-care is not selfish, it is needed. We can't pour from an empty cup. And I can say, hand on heart, that I've tried to do this in the past, and it just can't be done, because it ends up blowing up in your face. And, there's relationships can be, affected if you are not coming from a place of being full within yourself. Because remember, or for me, my daughter flourishes when I flourish, because it's so important I look after myself to then allow and to teach her how important that is to look after herself as well. And I think believe within yourself that you are an amazing mother, alrighty? And how lucky that you are that you have a little person that looks up to you. And your little ones do love you dearly, and they need you. They need you to be at your best. They need you to be the best person that you can be for them. Alrighty, so please be gentle with yourself. Be gentle and kind on yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat your own child, with love, with compassion, and with kindness, because you do deserve it. And remember, it's okay to be where you are right now. Alrighty, you are meant to be exactly there. Okay? But they're just some of my thoughts around the expectations placed on us as mums. And, it can be challenging, that societal, unrealistic and idealistic expectation that is out there. So as I said, remember, you are amazing. You are doing the best that you can, and you are deserving and worthy of looking after yourself. So please tell me, jot down in the comments below, what resonated most with you. Is there anything that you're struggling with and you just want to have a chat about it? If you feel as if you're at a point where you're not really getting anywhere, you're struggling to move forward, then please reach out. Alrighty, we're here to help you. We want to see you win. We want to support you to be the best that you can be. Alrighty, we want to help you to build that strong mind and strong body so you can feel confident every day in all the things that you do. Alrighty, because ultimately the reason we don't act, or the reason we don't do things to move us forward, is because we're coming from a place of fear and we're scared. Alrighty, so let's kick that fear to the curb and take action today on you, because you deserve to be the best you that you can be.